The rumors are circulating, and in this case, where there's smoke, I would say there's clearly fire. There was an article from Rex Hoggard, Golf Channel. You can find it at NBCSports.com, saying that Anthony Kim is on his way back into professional golf, and he will make his debut this week with LIV in Saudi Arabia, which leads me to the question of why. So much of what's swirling around in the game of golf today comes down to that essential question. Why? What's the motivation? And when it comes to Anthony Kim, it is a compelling, it is an interesting story. I have to say that I am a huge fan of Anthony Kim. The image of who Anthony Kim was back in the day. It's been nearly 12 years since Anthony Kim has been a part of the competitive stage. The word was that he had an insurance policy, and the insurance policy covered a career-ending injury, and that it paid out. And as a result, he went out, and he has virtually disappeared. What was it about Anthony Kim that made him so compelling? Many things, I think. It was the fact that in a golf world that often is vanilla, Anthony Kim was a kaleidoscope. It was that million-watt smile. It was the often flowing locks that he had. It was the style. It was the brashness. You remember the big AK belt buckles. It was that go for broke style. It was for all those reasons that for all of us, I think, it was easy to be a fan of Anthony Kim, particularly when it was a time where Tiger Woods, not far removed from the height of his prowess, was surrounded by as much question marks as answers. And so Anthony Kim was a player that we felt great about and felt like, this is what's going to usher us into the future. The way that he connected, albeit 12 years on now, was almost as if he was a modern-day Arnold Palmer. And then came 2012. 2011 wasn't great, but in 2012, with 2 made cuts in 10 attempts, Anthony Kim stepped away. Injuries, perhaps more, he left the scene. Again, speculation being that he got the payout and he disappeared. And now there's the prospect of him coming back, to which I go back to my essential question, the why. What is and where is the why that lies behind this decision? Because in retrospect, when we look back, and I just mentioned to you that there was a sense that he was a modern-day Arnold Palmer of his time. Well, what connection has he had with the fans in the last almost 12 years? Because his inner circle, and believe me, we tried, his inner circle protected him vehemently. No updates, no interviews, no checking in with you folks just to let you know how we're doing. Is he coming back because of a burning desire to compete? Did he miss it that much that a 38-year-old man can be compared to a 26-year-old who was already struggling and at the time had multiple injuries? Can we expect more? Are we talking about rust here, or is it beyond recognition of the ship that once was and now it's just a pile? So, for me, in my heart, I want Anthony Kim to succeed. I love the comeback story. Now, this one isn't necessarily draped with any type of glory in my mind because I don't really know what drove him away to begin with, because he chose to not discuss it. He chose to keep it to himself. He has every right to that privacy. I'm not denying him that, but now you're coming back to the main table again for the feast. So I hope that he performs well. But at 38 years old, with what he already went through from his 20s and then having disappeared for a decade plus, how much can we really expect? And is this about the hope of seeing Anthony Kim in all of his glory regained again, or is this now about a touch of gray and a lot of money?